Good morning, guys. Just wanted to hop on here this morning and do a quick take on my social media post this morning. Something I just thought about, after I think I posted that about 4 hours ago. And it was my thought of the day: woe to any nation, entity, political party, or group that exports sin. Jesus himself declared, temptations to sin are sure to come, but woe to the one through whom they come. And that's Luke 17:1. And so I wrote, do not be deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, he will also reap. That's Galatians 6:7. Today, I continued, today this includes the global export of pornography and sexual deviancy led by U.S. production, the aggressive promotion of homosexuality and gender confusion through Hollywood and streaming media, and the worldwide spread of abortion as healthcare or a right. These are not harmless industries or neutral ideals. They are stumbling blocks that distort God's design for life, for sexuality and family, reaping brokenness wherever they go. Again, Galatians 6:7. God is not mocked. What is sown will be reaped. But then after I wrote that, I started thinking, this is not a new problem. It's not a new problem. In the spirit of Malcolm X, who had a very raw, truth-telling persona, I think this is applicable to conservatives today. I remember Malcolm X saying, what did he say? You put them first, and they put you last, because you're a chump, a political chump. And I think that we would do well to heed biblical warnings and social warnings, like the one that Malcolm X gave to black people back in the 60s. You put them first, they put you last, because you're a chump, political chump. Like right now, and this was my brainstorm after reading those scriptures and just kind of meditating on them. The Republicans hold the White House. They hold the majority in the House, and they control the Senate, largely because of folks like us, the conservative base. Yet the flood of moral decay continues. Promises on life issues, family issues, and border issues are still very, very shaky. A bunch of Republicans voted with Democrats for the Haitian TPS. Like, what's that about? The SAVE Act. What's that about? There's just... And so some of us feel like we keep voting, but progressively our country is still moving left. God is not mocked. Yet the flood of moral decay continues. And I guess my thoughts on this is, what a man or a party sows, that he will also reap. And we need to stop being chumps, spiritually and politically. We need to demand righteousness or walk away and become the determining factor for actual factual change. And I understand how much Trump has done to move forward Republican, air quotes, Republican values. But again, and I'll just take my state and our neighboring state, South Dakota, the Republicans, and even in Minnesota, I'm thinking about Michelle Tafoya, who is, if you can believe it, a pro-abortion conservative. Apparently that's a thing. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Am I making too much of this? Because part of me thinks that we are all political chumps. Malcolm X was talking about in that speech, and it's quite a lengthy speech, and it's worth revisiting. But he was talking about how the black vote went Democrat almost 80%. It's higher than that now, but back then it was about 80%. Yet nothing got better for African Americans. Yet the Democrats had all the power, and I would even argue everything got worse, much worse, with Democrats in power for the African American community. Now I'm transposing that on today, and the new black folks are conservatives like me. And yeah, I recognize the irony. I'm a black guy, but in this instance, I'm not talking about my skin tone. I'm talking about my Christian conservative value set. And we keep voting for Republicans. Yet it seems to me that our values, the thing that built this country, that founded this country, are eroding away bit by bit. And I'm sorry. I was listening to a interview the other day where a person I really respected, well, maybe I shouldn't. I didn't think that the answer was strong enough, standing up for biblical and first principles. I'll just put it that way. And again, I look over in Minnesota, and you see people like Michelle Tafoya, and you see how all of the media, the conservative media, is all on board for her, and she is a pro-abortion conservative. And I listened to a interview by a conservative commentator, and someone called in and mentioned that, and the milk toast answer that was given just made my blood boil. We can't have a Royce White because apparently smash mouth politics is just too much for milk toast Republicans, and we have to get behind people like Michelle Tafoya because she's electable, is what they tell us. And then we wonder why our party and our country keeps sliding decidedly left. Just something I was thinking about after my Bible reading this morning, and then posting, God won't be mocked. When we have leadership that actively stumbles their base, and when their base decides to hold them accountable, they basically cut the base off. And I'm talking about in North Dakota, in order to continue to stumble the uninformed. Oof. I think that's a big deal. I think we don't talk about that enough. And I think that they use as a bludgeon. We can't let Democrats win. That's their big talking point. Well, you can't not vote for this rhino, because if you do that, the Democrat will. So it's the lesser of two evils. Or you could vote for someone who has testicular fortitude, like a Rick Becker, or like a Royce White. We could vote for people, or a Alex Balaz. It's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think about my thoughts this morning. Drop them in the comments. Let me know, and we'll talk about it. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, on a beautiful Sunday morning, which I should probably be out there enjoying instead of sitting here with political musings. Anyway, God bless.